Okay, so today we are going to solve some sums regarding exercise 13.3. So we'll be doing three sums regarding surface area volume. That is chapter 13 of the class 9 NCERT or CBSE maths textbook. So for accurate reference, it is blue in color, and all the questions that I am doing now is referred to that textbook. So you could solve these problems with me if you refer that textbook. So in this video, I'll be solving the first sum of exercise 13.13, exercise 13.3, the second question and the third question. Okay, so let's start. So first read the question. The diameter of the base of a cone is 10.5 centimeter. So the only difference in each one of these exercises is there's a different shape according to which exercise is there. So in this exercise, we'll be doing cones. Surface area and total surface area and curved surface area of exercise 13.3. So let's read the question. Diameter of the base of a cone is 10.5 centimeters and its slant height is 10 centimeter. Find its curved surface area. So a basic definition of cone is that you wear to parties, birthday parties. So when you're 5 or 6, you used to get these hats. So a cone is basically a rough representation is like this. So this is known as slant height, and this is known as a radius. So if you zoom it, so it will somehow look like this, or I'll draw a more accurate and neat figure. Okay, so a cone roughly looks like this. Okay, and in a 3D version. So the diameter of the base of a cone is 10.5 centimeters. So of this circle, if we take this circle, so this is known as a diameter. Also, diameter is also known as the longest chord of the circle, and this is known as a radius. This is known as the radius. And if you have directly come to this video, I please advise you to listen and observe my previous videos, as I've done exercise 13.2 and exercise 13.1 in that. So in my previous video, I've also assumed and explained the formula 2r is equal to d, because if there are two radiuses, they can join together to form one diameter. So in this question, it refers that the diameter of the base of a cone is 10.5 centimeters. So whatever questions we take, all the questions they are based on the reference for radius, not on diameter. So we'll convert diameter to radius. So 10, so our diameter that is given is 10.5 centimeters. So we'll try to solve the radius. So 2 into r, r's value is not given, so we'll write it like that. We'll assume r to be r, and d is given, unfortunately, so 10.5, and r is equal to 10.5 divided by 2, and 10.5 divided by 2 is 5.25 centimeters. Please note that whenever you see questions in surface area volume, so the first thing that you should do is always solve a cone. And whenever you solve a cone, then enter the dimensions that the question has given you. And the second most critical part is whatever the units the question has given you, note if they are same. If they are different, so say for example, in place of centimeters, it was meters, and here it was centimeters. So conversion needs to be taken place. So it can be, meter can be converted into centimeter, centimeter can be converted into meter, according to the analogy of 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So accordingly, you could convert them, those units. But in this question, fortunately, it's not given. The common unit is centimeters. So 5.25 centimeters is a radius. So we have used this shape as a reference for our question. So radius is equal to 5.25 centimeters. And our diameter of the base of a cone is 10.5 centimeter, and its slant height is 10 centimeter. So here I have told you what slant height is. This is known as slant height. Okay, now slant height is equal to 10 centimeters. Find its curved surface area. Okay, so we'll try to solve this question. So as I said that first draw a perfect and neat, rough representation of a cone. So I'll try to draw a cone. Okay, so somewhat the cone looks like this, and we are going to enter the dimensions that the question has given us. So the question has given us our radius. So there's a common center of the circle. So the radius is 10.5 centimeters. The radius is, pardon, 5.25 centimeters. And as I've said before, the slant height is, this is the slant height, and the slant height is, slant height is 10 centimeters. Okay. And it is asking us for CSA. Okay, CSA. So in the first video that I've resumed a chapter surface area volume, I've displayed a you can say chart of formulas, and in previous few videos I've repeated this annoyingly, but it is for your own sake and purpose, and it might serve you a better future. It might come in the future. So the formula, if you have memorized them thoroughly, so you will be able to learn a formula of a cone, that is CSA, curved surface area of a cylinder of a cone, pardon, is equal to pi RL. Okay, so if you have remembered your formulas enough, then 50% of your problem is already solved. Okay, so if you have not learned the formula, kindly do, because all of the problems in surface area volume are based on the formulas only. And then we'll substitute the values of pi RL and pi. In this question, it has been specifically said that assume pi is equal to 22 by 7. So, and previously, I've always said that in every question that is given and every exercise that is given, they always tell you a statement that pi is equal to 22 by 7. In some exercises, it's 3.14, but according to the preference of the author who has written the book, he or she will refer to it as 22 by 7 most commonly. So, pi is equal to 22 by 7 into r. So, r is, as we have calculated, 5.25 centimeters. Now, for ease of calculation, I'll write this as 525 upon 100. So, 5.25 can also be written as 525 upon 100. And then finally, it is asking you for L. L is also known as slant height. So, L is 10 centimeters. Okay, so accordingly, we'll calculate. So, 1 tens of 10, 10 tens of 100, and 5 and 11 and 7 and 1 sevens of 7 sevens of 49 and 5. So the final answer is 165 centimeter square. So all the all the units of area have a square at the top, no matter if it is centimeters, or latter square in the top. So centimeter square, meter with the square at the top, kilometer with the square at the top, and so on. So in this question, centimeter square is a unit for CSA, and most preferably I'll advise you that, so in this question I'll write it again. So in maths is not only about solving something, getting answers, it's also about calculating it smartly. So when I did this, so 10 tens a 100, and whenever you get 10 or 100 or 1000 or 10,000, anything with a zero ahead of 1, so it can be 10, it can be 100, it can be 1000. So never touch 10, 100,000, 10,000, because if you touch them, then the sum gets more complicated, and in your exam you can't use a calculator. So never touch 10. So 75 is a 525, and we'll solve 22 by 75, 22 into 75. So most of you, the ICSE and the CBSE will always will be disallowed from using a calculator. So they'll be doing it like this. Okay, but in this video, all I'm doing is that I'm rushing with the sums so that you get a clear perspective of surface area volume exercises concerning cones. So 22 into 75, I'll do it with calculator, and I advise you all to do same, so that there's no wasted of time. So 22 into 75 is equal to 1650. is equal to 1650 divided by 10, which is 165.0, which is 165. And do not forget the units, 165 centimeters square. So this is the curved surface area of the cone. And we'll move on to the next sum. Okay, so I'll rub all of this. I'll rub all of this to make some space. Okay, so once I've made enough space, so we'll move on to a second sum. We'll take another color and find the total surface area of a cone. Okay, so let me tell you, if you have remembered your formulas thoroughly. So TSA, total surface area, is equal to pi r L plus pi r square. So the derivation for this formula, how did it come in existence? I'll tell you that later when we solve the question. So first we look at this question. All I'm advising you to do is just sit back and look at the question, analyze the question, write down all the information and clues, because if you all jumble up into your head or cram it up in your head, you'll do the calculations also orally. So you'll be, counting infinity with your number, with your fingers. So find the total surface area of a cone. It is telling you to find TSA. If you remember the formula correctly, is pi r L plus pi r square. If its slant height is 21 meters, so a rough representation of a cone. And this is known as the slant height, which is in short form referred to as L. So L is equal to 21 meters and the diameter of its base is 24 meters. Other thing in this question is always analyze the and note the units. So if units in the question are different, so conversion needs to be taken place. But if it is in not, so okay, we can solve ahead. So it has told the diameter of its base is 24 meters. So by this formula 2RD, we have to solve the question. So I'll leave some space. Okay. So 2 into r, we have as yet not calculated the value of r, so we'll assume it as r. Or you could, preferably choose any other alphabet, but in this question I'll do as r. So d is equal to 24 meters. And r is equal to 24 divided by 2, which is, boom, 12. And without this units, the value is completely meaningless and you'll get a big zero. So, but in this question, it's not centimeter, it's meter. So always look for the common unit in the question, and it's meter in this case. So it's the radius is 12 meters. So this is known as a radius and it's 12 meters. And the statement, the final statement is giving us thus find the total surface area of a cone. Okay, so we'll try to solve this question. So this is the second question, and please note that I'm going accordingly to the number system of the exercises. So even if I do second question and I skip to fifth one, I'll write fifth instead of third. So second question. So first of all, I'll draw a shape, most importantly. So we have drawn the figure and then I'll write the number. So TSA is equal to pi r L plus pi r square. First, I'll tell you the derivation, the roots of its derivation. So pi r L, previously we have learned that pi r L is the curved surface area, this formula for curved surface area for cone. And pi r square is the formula for area of a circle. So area of a circle is equal to pi r square. So in the previous video, we had taken an example of a cylinder. I'll not go into the details. I'll just give you a rough representation. So in that, there were two circles. So the formula TSA for a cylinder is 2 pi rh plus 2 pi r square. So if it is 2 pi rh plus 2 pi r square, so 2 pi r square was due to because it had, two circles. But in this case, it has only one circle. So that's why it has a single pi r square. So we'll try to solve this question further by substituting the values. So in the question, it has stated specifically that assume pi to be 22 by 7. So you can also do it as 3.14, but it will lead to too much calculation. So preferably the exercise is given you pi is equal to 22 by 7. So R is, by calculation, we have gotten R as 12 into L. L is slant height, which is 21 meter. Also, I forgot to add the dimensions. Please do not forget that. Sometimes I have loss of mind issues. So the R is equal to 12 meters. Always write down the units. So the slant height is 21 meters plus pi r square. So pi is 22 by 7 into R. So R is 12. So 12 whole square. 12 whole square. Okay. So we'll start with the calculation. So 7 1s are 7, 7 3s are 21. And by solving in a calc, we get the answer as 792 plus 22 into 12 square divided by 7. So by calculation, we get the answer as, okay, so 792 plus 452.5 is 1244.5. And please note down the value, the unit. So in this case, the unit is meter square, and due to its total surface area, so it has specifically area mentioned in it. So the unit is going to be meter square. Okay, so this is fine. Final answer. We'll move on to the next question. And now I'll try to rub this a little so that there's some space. Okay. Okay, there are little red dots. So go through that. Bear to that. We'll take another color. We'll take pink. And we'll solve a third sum. Curved surface area of a cone is 308 centimeters square. Now first, sit back and look at all the units in this question, because if you don't look at all the units in this question, you'll end up putting the wrong unit and you'll get a what? 0. Okay. Curved surface area of a cone is 308 centimeters square. Centimeter square, centimeter. Okay, so it's only centimeter. Good for us. So 308 centimeters square, and its slant height is 14 centimeters. So a rough representation of a cone. And this is the slant height, which is 14 centimeters. And it has not given the radius, so we'll assume radius as R. Curved surface area of a cone is 308 centimeters square. Find the radius of the base. So first we have to find the radius of the base. Okay, we'll try to solve that. So I'll clear all those. And third sum, I'll try to, change the color. I'll do it as red. Okay. I'll do it as red. And first of all, we have to draw the figure. Okay, when we draw the figure, we draw the figure of a cone, obviously. So here it is. Then we'll try to enter all the dimensions which is given us to us by the question. So this is known as a slant height, and the slant height is 14 centimeter. Okay. Radius is not given to us. So center from the edge is R. And then if you remember your formula thoroughly, so curved surface area is equal to pi RL. Okay, so we'll try substituting the values. So in this question, it has specifically mentioned to us as pi is equal to 22 by 7. Okay. Into R. So R is not given to us. So we'll assume it as R is into L. L is slant height, so 14 is equal to CSA, and CSA is given to us as 308 centimeters square. Okay, so 308 centimeters square. Okay, so now in most questions, please note that in most questions that will appear to you in exams will be easy. So it means they'll introduce you a set of numbers which is divisible by 7. basically it is divisible by 22 by 7. So the question just gets solved very easily and without the help of a calculator. But in IGSE exams, they give you sums like in decimal points. So all you have to do is solve it, take your calculator and get the answer. So we'll try to solve this question with a calculator, even though we do not need one. And if we do not need one, we'll do it by our minds. So 7 twos are 14. And we do not need a calculator for this because 22 into 22 into 2 is equal to 44 into R. Please note that I can use into as into like a cross, but I'm doing 3 crosses. So it's your preference design. So do not get confused by my handwriting. Is equal to 308. Okay. So R is equal to 308 divided by 44. So our answer is 7 centimeters. And in certain areas and branches of the question, it will tell you to find curved surface area, total surface area. In those cases, oh, and one more thing, the unit will be meters, not centimeters. So please forgive me. Oh, or sorry, pardon. So it will be centimeter only. So in this case, it is telling us to find R radius. So when it is telling us to find radius, so please bear in mind the unit. So if it was asking for us to calculate total surface area or CSA, so we would have been, the unit would have been square with a square at the top. But in this case, it was not. It only wanted us to solve the radius of it. So that's why we took it as centimeters. Okay, now onwards to the question. The second question tells us total surface area of the cone. Now again, please memorize the formulas. We have drawn our figure, so I'll try to erase a bit. Okay, now, great. So I'll take yellow. Okay. So TSA of a cone is equal to pi RL plus pi R square. So previously I've told you the derivation, the roots of this formula. So we need not go into that further. So we'll substitute the value. So 22 by 7 into R, and R is not given. R was not given to us, but we have already solved that in the first question. The R is 7 into L, slant height. So that is 14 plus pi 22 by 7 into R square. R square is 7 whole square bracket. Okay, I'll write this some more neatly. Okay. Now we'll begin a calculation. 7, 7. Always try to do the simple calculation first. So 22 into 14 is 308. So please do that on your calculators, or you can do it already. So we can write 22 in, we can write 7 whole square, 7 into 7. So 7 sevens are, and there's one more 7 left. So 22 into 7 is around 154, exactly 154. And we'll try to add it. So 308 plus 154 is 462 centimeter square, because it has TSA. So the units is centimeter square. Now the third question and the final question is completed.